Hey there. Ready to unlock some serious hip mobility? Today, we're diving into a set of techniques designed to banish that nagging hip pain you've been dealing with.
Okay.
Help you move with more freedom. We're calling this your hip mobility mastery journey. And trust me, you're going to want to take notes. You've given us some seriously interesting material.
Yeah.
Focusing on restoring those hips with names like side hip smash,
Oh.
targeted gut smashing mobilizations, and my personal favorite, banded hip extension.
I love it.
Intrigued yet?
Intriguing names indeed. And they highlight something crucial.
Yeah.
Hip health isn't just about your hips.
Right.
It's about how your whole body moves and feels. Think of your hips as the foundation of your movement.
Okay.
When they're restricted, everything from your posture to your lower back can be affected.
It's like a domino effect, right? One tight spot leads to a chain reaction.
Exactly. And let's be honest, our modern lifestyles don't exactly help.
Right.
We spend hours glued to our chairs, which can wreak havoc on a key muscle called the psoas.
The psoas, I've heard it's kind of a big deal, but why?
Well, imagine someone constantly tugging on your bicep for hours. That's what a tight psoas can feel like.
Oh, wow.
And it's no wonder our hips are screaming for help. The source material we're diving into describes this so vividly, it really paints a picture.
Okay, I'm feeling that already.
Yeah.
So this psoas muscle, it's not just about hip pain, is it?
Absolutely not. The psoas plays a crucial role in supporting your spine,
Right.
powering your hip movement, and even helping you rotate. These techniques we're exploring aren't just about easing pain. They're about restoring something called optimal spinal mechanics, basically helping your body move as nature intended.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
So let's get this hip mobility mastery journey started. First up, the side hip smash. I have to admit, the name is a bit intimidating.
Yeah.
Should I be wearing padding for this?
No padding required, but you might make a few interesting faces.
Oh.
The side hip smash is all about targeting that area from your glutes to your hip flexors, which gets super tight from all that sitting we do. You'll use a lacrosse ball or softball, gently rolling it across those muscle fibers to release tension.
So we're not actually smashing anything, right? More like a deep tissue massage with a ball.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And, this technique isn't just about brute force. It's about restoring the natural glide of your hip joint, which can have a ripple effect on your whole body, from your posture to how you move during your workouts.
I actually tried a similar technique the other day, and I was surprised how much relief I felt in my IT band.
Yeah.
So it really does connect to other areas.
Absolutely. And remember how we talked about the psoas affecting things like squatting and lunging?
Yeah?
Well, the side hip smash can help improve those movements too. It's not just about pain relief, it's about unlocking better movement patterns.
Okay, this is starting to feel less like a pain relief mission and more like a movement revolution.
Yeah.
I'm liking where this is going. But now, on to the next challenge. Targeted gut smashing mobilizations. Okay, gut smashing. I'm both intrigued and slightly terrified. Is this safe?
I assure you it's safe when done correctly, and you won't need a hazmat suit. It sounds intense, but it's really about giving your psoas some much-needed TLC. Think of it as a deep tissue massage for your insides.
But why the gut? Why are we targeting that area specifically? And what exactly does smashing entail?
Remember our friend the psoas?
Yes.
Deep within your core. And targeted gut smashing is all about releasing those stubborn knots and adhesions that build up around it. We're talking gentle pressure waves,
Okay.
contract and relax techniques, even something called smash and floss. The source material does a great job of breaking it down into different options.
Smash and floss. Now that's a phrase I never thought I'd hear. So we're using tools to floss around our psoas. What kind of tools are we talking about?
We're talking lacrosse balls, kettlebells, even something called an alpha ball, which sounds a bit intimidating, but is very effective. The key is to use these tools strategically to target specific areas and release those deep-seated restrictions.
Hold on, kettlebells. Isn't that going a bit overboard?
Not at all.
Really?
The source material outlines different variations, starting with gentle options for beginners and progressing to more intense techniques for those who are ready for a challenge.
Nah.
You can find the perfect level of intensity for your needs.
Okay, I'm picturing myself flossing around my psoas with a kettlebell, and I have to admit, it's a pretty funny mental image.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, this all sounds very precise. It's not just randomly rolling around on a ball, is it?
You're exactly right. These techniques require focus and attention. You're working with your body, not against it.
Yeah.
And the goal is always to promote healthy movement and function.
All right, I'm ready to level up in this gut-smashing game. But before we get too carried away, let's move on to our final technique for this part of the journey. The banded hip extension.
Okay.
I'm sensing a theme here, lots of action words.
I know.
So tell me, what makes this technique stand out from the others?
This one is a bit different, but it builds on the classic kneeling hip opener.
Okay.
It involves a band,
Yeah.
and it's all about targeting that tricky joint capsule, which can be a major source of restriction. The banded hip extension uses the band to gently pull your leg bone away from the socket, creating space in the joint. It's like giving your hip a little bit of breathing room.
Ah, I see. So the band is kind of like a gentle hand guiding my hip into the perfect position?
That's a great analogy. And this technique specifically targets a ligament called the Y ligament,
Okay.
which is often a culprit in hip restriction.
So we're not just stretching muscles here, we're actually working on the ligaments too. That's pretty amazing.
Exactly. And the source material emphasizes the importance of proper form here.
Yeah.
You want to keep your back flat and avoid any arching or overextension, which could negate the benefits.
So it's a controlled stretch using the band to create that space and mobility in the joint.
Precisely. And you can even add an arm raise to target those high, hard-to-reach areas of your hip.
Okay, I'm definitely adding the banded hip extension to my mobility routine. It sounds like a game changer. So we've covered 3 fantastic techniques: the side hip smash, the targeted gut smashing mobilizations, and the banded hip extension. It's like our own little hip healing toolbox.
I like it.
But how do we put all this together into a practical routine?
That's a great question. And the source material actually offers a helpful time breakdown for each technique.
Okay.
They recommend spending about 2 minutes on each side for the side hip smash, another 2 minutes per side for the gut smashing mobilization,
Okay.
and another 2 minutes per side for the banded hip extension.
Let me do the math. That's just 12 minutes total. I could definitely commit to 12 minutes a day for better hip health. Feels very doable.
Exactly. And the beauty of these techniques is that you can do them at home with minimal equipment.
Right.
Consistency is key here. The more you practice, the more benefits you'll reap.
I'm feeling inspired to get started. You know, it's amazing how much we've learned about hip health in just a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's really opened my eyes to how interconnected our bodies are.
It is remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it speaks to the power of these simple yet effective techniques.
Yeah.
They're not just about fixing a problem.
Right.
They're about empowering you to take control of your health and well-being.
You know, I was thinking about that analogy of the constant tug on the bicep to describe a tight psoas.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a powerful image.
Yeah.
It makes you realize how much tension we might be carrying around without even realizing it.
That's such an important point. We often wait until we're in pain to start paying attention to our bodies.
Right.
But imagine if we could shift that mindset and embrace these techniques as a form of self-care, a way to nurture our bodies and prevent those issues from arising in the first place.
Yeah, that's a game changer right there.
I agree.
It's not about waiting for something to go wrong. It's about proactively taking care of ourselves.
Exactly.
And it's not just about the physical benefits either. It's about that mind-body connection, that feeling of being in tune with ourselves.
Absolutely. When you release those physical restrictions, it's like you're also releasing mental and emotional tension. It's a very holistic approach to well-being.
I've noticed that in my own life. When I prioritize movement and take care of my body, I feel more energized, more focused, and more resilient in all areas of my life.
Exactly. It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
When you feel good in your body, it positively impacts everything else you do.
And speaking of ripple effects, think about the impact we could have if we all started prioritizing our hip health. Imagine a world where everyone moved with freedom and ease.
What a beautiful vision. And it all starts with each of us taking those small but significant steps towards better hip health.
Right.
It's about educating ourselves, experimenting with these techniques, and sharing what we learn with others.
It's like we're starting a movement.
Yeah.
A movement of hip-healthy, empowered individuals who are ready to embrace life to the fullest. And you know what? It's pretty exciting to be a part of that.
It is exciting, and it all starts with that willingness to explore, to try new things, and to believe in our body's incredible capacity for healing and adaptation.
So to our listeners, I encourage you to dive into this hip mobility mastery journey with us.
Yeah.
Try out these techniques, feel the difference in your body, and share your experience with others. Let's create a ripple effect of positive change, one hip smash at a time.
And remember, it's not just about the physical benefits.
Right.
It's about cultivating that deeper connection with your body, nurturing your overall well-being, and unlocking a sense of freedom and vitality that extends far beyond the physical realm.
Beautifully said. I'm feeling so inspired by this conversation, and I hope our listeners are too. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to touch on one more important aspect of this journey. We've talked about the physical benefits, the mind-body connection, but what about the long-term impact of prioritizing hip health?
Yeah.
It feels like this goes beyond just feeling better today. It's about setting ourselves up for a more mobile, pain-free future.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's an investment in your future well-being.
Okay.
Think about it. As we age, our bodies naturally become less mobile.
Right.
But by actively working on our hip health now, we're building a foundation of strength and flexibility that can help us stay active and independent for years to come.
That's a powerful motivator. It's not just about avoiding pain. It's about maintaining our independence and quality of life as we age.
Exactly. And here's something else to consider.
Okay.
When our hips are functioning optimally, it reduces the stress and strain on other joints like our knees and lower back. So by taking care of our hips, we're also protecting those other areas from potential problems down the road.
It's like a preventative approach to health, addressing the root cause instead of just treating the symptoms. I love that.
And you know, what's really fascinating is how these techniques, while relatively simple, can have such a profound impact on our overall sense of well-being.
Right.
It's a testament to the body's incredible ability to heal and adapt.
It's like we're unlocking our body's own potential, giving it the tools it needs to thrive. We're not forcing anything. We're simply creating the conditions for optimal function.
And that's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's a reminder that our bodies are incredibly resilient, capable of amazing things when we give them the support they need.
All right, I'm feeling so inspired by this conversation. I'm ready to go out there and spread the gospel of hip health and embodied empowerment.
I love it.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
I would simply say this. Don't underestimate the power of these techniques. They might seem small, but they can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond your physical body.
Wow.
Embrace them with curiosity, consistency, and a willingness to listen to your body's wisdom.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder. Imagine a world where we all prioritize our hip health.
Oh, yeah.
Where we move with freedom and ease, and where we embrace our bodies as sources of strength and vitality. What kind of world would that be? It's something to think about, isn't it? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and keep exploring the incredible potential that lies within each of you.